This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hey, what's up guys? Today's video is brought to you by eSports Gold. They're a sponsor of the channel and I really appreciate what they do. And now that we all have some extra time at home, it's a great time to dive into the world of esports. So whatever your preferred esport is, you can check out match results, match videos, you can follow players and teams, you can get stats, and just all the news, all the information that you might want to follow the world of esports. So they help me out. Please help me out by helping them out by clicking the link in the description or the link below in comments. And thank you for checking out eSports Gold. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are playing with a brought back deck. So continuing my thing of grabbing a rare that I don't use much and building around 4 of it, this is a deck that features 4 copies of brought back. And I'm playing it in a shell featuring Doom Foretold, which is a very fun card for me. Some people are annoyed by Doom Foretold, but I seem to love Doom Foretold decks and enchantment-based decks, tap-out control type decks. This deck has no instance in the entire deck other than brought back itself. So we're very much playing on our own turn, trying to contain the opponent's board and use brought back to gain all kinds of weird card advantage. What do we bring back? Well, a few things that are good to bring back are these Saga-y things, because they eventually go to the graveyard at a very specific time. Birth of Meletis, Elspeth's Nightmare, which destroys a creature with power 2, then takes a card from their hand like a Duress would, and then exiles a graveyard. And is also Elspeth Conquers Death are the sagas in the deck that can tick down and eventually go to the graveyard. If you can time their going to the graveyard along with a card like Doom Foretold or something else like a Kaya Ultimate, or getting rid of your Treacherous Blessing to your Doom Foretold and then use brought back to bring back a saga and say a Treacherous Blessing or a Doom Foretold, that's very devastating. Our win cons in the deck are Archon of Sun's Grace and Kaya Orzhov Usurper, although Starfield Mystic can get very large and beat the opponent down. I really hate Starfield Mystic as a card because it just dies so easy to shock. Like, Shock and Bone Crusher Giant have to be the most played cards in the whole freaking game right now. Probably Bone Crusher Giant even more so because you see it in fires. And that drives me crazy, but much like Arclight Phoenix and Storm have a Goblin Electromancer in them to enable the deck, that's what Starfield Mystic does here. It enables cheaper enchantments and some of the more busted draws, and you need it against decks like Simic, or you're just too slow. So Starfield Mystic did eventually earn its place in the deck, although I'm always a little salty when I play it on turn 2 just to see it die a terrible death. At least it gives us something else to get back with Elspeth Conquers Death Chapter 3, which the deck lacks sometimes, since the only other creatures are Archons and Planeswalker is Kaya. So yeah, it's a really fun deck. Hopefully I'll get to show you all the wacky things we can do. I do have 4 Fabled Passage in the mana base because that also combines with brought back as a slow but workable ramp spell. So that's why 4 Fabled Passage. Otherwise, it would be good with just swamps, plains, castles, shrines, and temples. But let's dive in. Let's let this brought back nonsense begin. Not having the double white is really concerning, but we're on the draw. And Birth of Meletis, along with all the other white sources in the deck, means we'll probably get one. This hand is slow, to say the least, but we're only 1 or 2 good cards away from being just fine, I think. Yeah, I'll hang on to it. Temple of Plenty is going to start with a Scry to the top. We'll start with this swamp, I guess. I don't think it matters which we play first necessarily. Like, you don't brought back on turn 2 or 3 for pretty much anything. Oh, that's the card I need. Oh, can I have this? Can I just yoink? No? Okay. Alright, let's run out the Mystic. See if the opponent has the answer. No answer yet. We could slam a Doom Foretold, but then we'd have to give up our Mystic, and they'd only lose a Birth. It's not particularly compelling. So, Treacherous Blessing, we're going to have to discard a card unless we... Ooh, I should have left the white open. As a mistake. That's what we call a boo-boo. Oh, manual taps. I was supposed to tap these two and leave the white open to draw Birth of Meletis. Alright. No need to attack here. What do we discard? I guess another swamp is unnecessary. Our opponent's gotten to do their thing without pressure so far, and they have an Archon. Doom Foretold looking pretty nasty against their Omen of the Hunt here. So I think we're playing Elspeth Conquers Death. Hang on to your Fabled Passage. It might combine well with Brought Back. So now is when we go into the tank and we try to figure out how do we get Elspeth Conquers Death to go off the same turn that we sacrifice our Treacherous Blessing. And the trick is probably to spend next turn playing Archon, and then the turn after that playing Doom, so that we can sack the Blessing to the Doom, and then the Elspeth Chapter 3 goes off. And then Brought Back gets both back onto the battlefield. So let's make that play. Also, if the opponent does anything about the Archon, Elspeth Conquers Death can bring it back. Our opponent's turn wasn't exciting. Maybe they just don't see a need to remove the Starfield Mystic, and perhaps they could. Okay, they do have instant speed plays. They're just extra expensive because of Elspeth Conquers Death. So here's Omen of the Sea. Yeah, Doom is going to be really bad against them. This appears to be an Enigmatic Incarnation deck, which, by the way, is freaking sweet. I do enjoy this Enigmatic Incarnation Bant deck quite a bit. This one has Archon, which when it dies returns an enchantment to the battlefield. Epic. So there goes Elspeth Conquers Death. I timed it wrong. Top tier magic, everybody. Alright, so if I can't get rid of this turn, I guess I can Brought Back on a Fabled Passage. I do have 2 Brought Backs. Not the end of the world. Besides, we get to do this again eventually, I think. Look at that ramp. A beautiful ramp. Still very powerful. And do I want the Doom Foretold now? I want it next turn, right? Because I want to get Treacherous Blessing and Elspeth Conquers Death with a Brought Back. So I want it next turn. I could do it this turn and just hang on to it, but I wouldn't be sacrificing the Blessing. So let's get the Oath down so we have something else to sacrifice. I could also like shoot a wall after it blocked a Starfield Mystic, but I don't really care about getting rid of the walls. I don't want to try to beat my way through the walls. I just want to go face. Cavalier of Dawn, what do you target? The Archon, nice. Now that's something that I get to get back with the Elspeth Conquers Death. What does my opponent get back? They only have Birth of Meletis in the graveyard. We'll play this. I guess we could have 5 mana to activate a castle. Hit him with these. There you go. Doom Foretold ya. So our opponent does have some play here. They can get rid of the Omen, then get rid of their Cavalier, get back the Omen to try to dig for awesomer things. Which you can't blame them. Another Cavalier of Dawn. What do you do? The Elspeth Conquers Death? Blows up my plan, but what would I rather have? The Treacherous Blessing with 3 cards or the Elspeth Conquers Death? I think I'd rather have the Elspeth Conquers Death. I guess we may as well get rid of it now. Well, let's see. I could block here and then get back the Mystic as well. Interesting. Mystic would get reset, though. I don't love that. Okay, yeah, we're just going to do this now. Thank you for your patience, opponent. Options are hard. Alright, now we'll sacrifice Treacherous Blessing. If we're really lucky, we'll draw another brought back anyway. Oh. Although I shouldn't be too disappointed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that can activate both castles. So I can use the Scryland. No, thank you. Pegasus tokens to the air. Down to 8. I could draw something I want to play, so let's use the castle. Do I want to play you and not get a token? And not... I guess I save this, right, to go with the Archon next turn. Is it time to give up your Cavalier and get back a Omen? Nope. Every turn that goes by, you risk getting conquered again. Vanishing Light. Ooh, what's your target? I wonder. Uses the Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay. That's risky. Could get it back. Which is one of the big problems with Banishing Light. Just Elspeth Conquers Death. It always comes back. Alright, we don't have many lands left, so this Fabled Passage is almost dead. And this Birth is not getting a land. Give up the Oath, make a 6/6. Other land. Amazing how you can draw so many lands. So we may as well keep saving this until we have some kind of an enchantment trigger, or we want to sacrifice it. I guess we want to sacrifice it to Doom, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Give me a card. Make it a good one. Nice. I think that's nice. Blow these up, get back Elspeth Conquers Death, no targets. Not that nice. Elspeth wants targets, but we can hang on to it for later. Get him. Get him! Wall takes one for the team. One turn clock from the Pegasus. Yeah, we're gonna hang on to Doom Foretold. I have a feeling the opponent's not completely done yet. Omen of the Sea again. What do you find? You'll need to answer the tokens. An Archon of your own wouldn't be bad. We've exiled all this fun stuff from them because we've just hit them over and over again with Elspeth Conquers Death. Sacrifice an Omen to Doom Foretold. So let's see what they found. Another Omen. Alright, that digs you deeper, continues to insulate you from Doom Foretold. It's been a weird game because Doom Foretold hasn't been as good as it would be against most decks. This deck is full of Omens. Most decks don't play a bunch of cards that they intend to sacrifice. Another Banishing Light. Has to go after a token, but that's good. That's really good Doom Foretold insulation. Really good. Because they have an empty thing to sacrifice and then get back with Cavalier. On the downside, are they just dead? They not have enough blockers on the ground. They can block here and here, and they take 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think this is too much. We'll see. Do they have an instant? Something they can play. Scry. Another Elspeth Conquers Death. That's pretty good. Some would say Busto. Let's get rid of their Banishing Light to get back the other Elspeth Conquers Death. Use the other Elspeth Conquers Death to get rid of their Cavalier of Dawn. And they did have an instant, but it's Omen of the Hunt, which wasn't going to affect the board very much. So they were dead to the attack, but it doesn't hurt to make sure when you don't know what they have in their hand. Could have been a Brazen Borrower. Could have been a number of things. Yep, we can try this out. It's good to be on the play because this hand is slow. Let's not waste time. Go get that plains. A mountain, you say? Do they have a shock? They do have a shock. All right, good to know. Good to know for if and when we draw Starfield Mystic. Now give me something to Nightmare. No, they don't. That's complicated. We could run this out as a hand hate spell. We could just get this tap land played. We could also play the Blessing. The problem with playing the Blessing here is the discarding. I'd much rather unload more cards. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. Here's your Bone Crushing Giant. See if the opponent also wants to cast their 4/3 friend. Yep. Okay, that went to the graveyard. I don't think I'll get something else to go to the graveyard yet this turn, though. So, Blessing it is, I think. As much as that can suck. Alright, we'll drop off Kaya so Elspeth Conquers Death has something to get back. It's good to draw the Doom Foretold. Lava Coil, sure. Goblin Banneret, okay. So, perhaps a budget-y style red deck. We'll try to save this to go with Brought Back in case we end up playing that. Which means we can play this and this. So what is next turn? Doom Foretold? Elspeth's Nightmare. ×2, I'm sure. I would love to play the Doom Foretold, give up the Blessing. Ooh, that's a good one. I would love to play the Doom Foretold and give up the Blessing next turn to get the Blessing back and draw 3 with Brought Back, but I just don't think that's the priority in this matchup right now. Because playing Doom Foretold here opens us up to a lot of pain. Sequencing's a little hard with the deck. Worst case scenario, we'll get a land. Lands are fine. I think we'll take out both of the Bannerets. There's nothing right now for the Dreadhorde Arcanist to get back, although this card can go nuts, can't it? With pump spells, it can be brutal. We should be careful. Kaya's coming back next turn because of Elspeth Conquers Death, which can exile the last Banneret too, so that's another reason not to leave the Arcanist. Uh-oh, we're pumping. You're giving it the pump action. Alright. Ow. Alright, give me a look at this hand. Shock, Infuriate, Ox of Agnes, Drakuseth? Oh, our opponent's playing the Maniac Red. The absolute Maniac Red. Am I worried about Infuriate? I don't think so. We'll take the Shock.
I'll phase through anything that stands in my way.
Hold on, let's look at the rest of this turn. I want to play Doom Foretold because I want to get rid of Blessing. I want to play Starfield Mystic. Brought Back can get me an Elspeth Conquers Death, but that's not too exciting. Yeah. I think we'll do this. Oh, I know. In which case we do this. And then we can tick this up rather than exiling on the
You're not
banneret.
creep. I'm gone for now.
Because it's going to die
But
anyway
not
to
forever.
Doom Foretold, which we want to stick around. We don't want it to leave. And like a combo. I don't know about that. I think we did the like a combo part. This is an interesting hand because it has Starfield Mystic on 2, but we don't have the land. If we draw it though, the hand is pretty good, but this has to live. Let's see what happens. Do the white source. Ah, I see you're also a man of culture. Or woman. I don't care. Boom, Starfield Mystic. Fetching a forest gives me hope that this may actually survive. Plains, yeah, they don't usually have cheap removal of any reasonable kind. It's one of the reasons that some of these colors struggle in Magic. Season of Growth. Okay then. Well, we didn't get a target for our Oath of Kaya, but we do need to play the Oath of Kaya because we need Doom Foretold to be supported. And let's hit him. We'll just send a message. We're here. We're not going anywhere. Hero of the Pride. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Pride, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Well, you can bet this is going to be a fun game. Fortunately, Doom Foretold plays around protection spells like Karametra's Blessing and God's Willing. And I think that's going to be a big deal in this one. You may see the joy that is double Doom Foretold brought back. Opponents love that. Why is this thing always, like, does anybody know why it's got this weird border now? Seems like this was an update from the recent, since that, whatever update it was. But I don't know why it has this weird revolving border now. Is it just to let you know something's going to happen? This card's going to do something to you, you'll hate it. They give up the Season of Growth, wow. They're going to try to keep and protect their creatures. We're going to need to play a lot of them to survive what's coming. I am not blocking. My Mystic is going to get real swole. So, trading it doesn't make a lot of sense. By Oath of Kaya. Mystic getting stronger. Able Passage off the top. That's good. Whenever unsure, fetch a Swamp because you have Birth of Meletis to fetch all the planes in this deck. Just a kind of a balancing thing. Here's Oath of Kaya. Yeah, so the idea now is when do we want the Doom Foretold to go? I guess I want one to go on my opponent's turn. They might have a protection spell though. At least we get it out of them. Sure. Yeah. It's gonna die anyway, but I also get a card from your hand and a draw if it goes this way. Part of me says I should have just held it back anyway so that I could brought back, but we're still gonna get to brought back next turn probably. Oh man, our opponent's got all this pump action. They don't have a permanent sacrifice, so this Doom Foretold goes. Draws Elspeth Conquers Death. Bumps the Mystic even. Okay, they run red. And they have a Hero of the Nyxborn that's going to die a hideous death to Doom Foretold. Unless I don't want it to. Oh, there we go. Yes. There's another Fabled Passage if I want to brought back the Oath of Kaya here, but I don't think that's the plan. Just keep dooming them. You're so doomed, bro. You don't even know. I'll just say go. Take it slow. Finish the rhyme in the comments. Tear him to pieces from head to toe. Hero of the Nyxborn again. We are trying so hard to be heroic. Is this Legend's Naya hero deck? I don't think Legend ran Hero of the Pride though. Alright, away goes the Treacherous Blessing. Bump this to a 7/7. We drew the Archon. We have the Brought Back. This is so brutal, but here's what we're gonna do, because that's what we came for. Don't be too weak to pull your combo. This is why we're here. Play Archon first. Brought Back. Get me the blessing. Draw another 3. Oh, it's so good. I guess I want this blessing around. Let's not give the opponent the chance to block with the Nyxborn. We want them to have to sacrifice it so I can then sacrifice the blessing next turn. It's just one of those tiny things. And yeah. Yeah, I understand. I would concede too. All right. Ooh, do we go get the plains or the swamp? Complicated. Well, this is our plains. All right. Maybe I just play this and hope to draw plains? There are more of them in the deck than swamps. The Bounty. If I go get a plains here, next turn I can play Mystic and Birth of Meletis. Is that the play, though? I might need to play Oath of Kaya. Oh, man. It's kind of... it's tough. Alright, I'm just going to play this. And the plan is going to be to birth. And regrets. I have regrets, everybody. That was stupid. Alright, I'll play the U. Hopefully they can't gain life. And I can Oath of Kaya that thing. Alright. No blocks. No blocks! I will take this damage as penance for bad opening sequencing. Should just fetch the plains right away. I'm always like too concerned that what I really need is a swamp because I have less swamps in the deck. I'm thinking too far ahead in some cases. Fabled Passage in your mono white deck. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Earth. Get me my plains. Oath of Kaya isn't really going to work out because of this little thing. So we'll play this Kaya Orzhov Usurper instead and exile it.
How did you do that?
Magic. Also, if this is in the graveyard later, we're okay with that, if Elspeth can get it back. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything to your Pride Mate. I'm tapped out, but, you know, do your thing. We'll save this. At least pretend like we might block for Kaya. It might make the opponent do something like Banishing Light the Mystic, which I wouldn't even be upset with, because it means they're not developing their board. Okay. Okay. Love it. Cool. See how sometimes just posing defensively can get the opponent to do something you want them to do? Alright. Because that's a lot better than them playing more threats that I have to deal with. Now we can Elspeth Conquers Death to get this back, but I think we need to try to kill this before it gets any bigger. Here's Heliod. That might be a more worthy target for Elspeth Conquers Death. In fact, I'm sure it is. We can bust this out of jail when Elspeth is on the way out, now that we have her brought back. Go away. Go far, far away. We don't want you. They're checking the graveyard. Yep, Kaya's there. Kaya's ready to exile your Healer's Hawk. Wah wah. So we want to line it up somehow that we get to play the brought back the turn when this goes to the graveyard, meaning that we would love to save the Oath of Kaya, but for that turn. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out because our opponent played a Pride Mate. We have to kill it. It'll get too big. I was going to try to play Oath of Kaya in the same turn that the Elspeth Conquers Death ticked down. Now, as it is, we could get back an Oath of Kaya right now, but I don't think that's worth it. I think getting back Elspeth Conquers Death is much, much better because we can bust out this Starfield Mystic. Archon. Oh yeah, now getting Elspeth Conquers Death back is probably killing the Archon. Alright. Take away, my friend.
I heard you had some dead things that needed to stay dead.
If only I had a way to get one more thing to die. We could try to Treacherous Blessing into a Fabled Passage. But the other option here is an Elspeth's Nightmare on the Hawk. I guess we get all of... No, we don't get it all if we find the Fabled Passage, because we have to brought back the passage. Yeah, Kaya can take out the Hawk. We're fine. So let's go in for the Blessing, see if we can find the passage, get the extra value. No, we don't. Well, we'll be okay, though. All we're doing is... Ah, it was there! It was there. All we were doing was... getting a little bonus on a 2-mana Elspeth Conquers Death, which, let's be honest, you don't need a lot to make that good.
You better watch your back from here on out.
Goodbye, Hawk. So much exile. And just wait till we start tearing up the graveyard with Kaya here. How much did that Fabled Passage on turn 3 cost our opponent? They could have played Heliod there, I think. Oh, they run Elspeth Conquers Death, because why wouldn't you? Card is Busto. Alright, so nothing really to exile with Kaya here. I always like to grab a creature and something else.
You better watch your back from here on out.
Because it's a separate instance of life gain every time that you use her. So having more creatures in the graveyard for later means that you gain more life. I think we can just let this Elspeth Conquers Death tick because we can get rid of the creatures with the Kaya, which means I can get back the Mystic here. And I could play these out, but I think I'll hold them. Don't remove the Kaya. That was part of my plan. Linden's not a big deal. Oath of Kai is ready for that job. So let's go ahead and throw the Oath. Zap. Too bad I couldn't exile it as well. If only I'd exiled more creatures last time after I talked about why I wasn't. But yeah, let's grab both of these. This one I'll just, well, if I give my opponent the Pride Mate, I can hit it with the Oath. I guess this can take the Nightmare. Okay.
Pack your bag. You won. Good for you. Shuffling me off my mortal coil.
Didn't tap careful enough. Should have left up mana for the castle. How many cards in exile? 8. Guy is looking to take a pretty good shot at the opponent here. Nothing in the graveyard to get back with the Elspeth Conquers Death, unfortunately. Oh, kill it, kill it. Nah, they don't have a way to kill it. That's not how it works. White never kills anything, they only exile things. They don't have it in them to execute the death penalty, apparently. They leave that to the black mages. That's an Ajani. Okay.
I protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Gain life. Okay. They're trying to make sure that Johnny will survive. Another Nightmare. Heal it. Zap it. Attack it. Game. Alright, we've been terrorizing the unranked queue brutally. Time to see if this deck has what it takes to step up. One chance, that's what you've got. Are you diamond good? Are you meta competitive? Is brought back legit? His hand is slow. But they're not mono red. No way they're mono red. They are not mono red. See? I knew it. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, and if they have Narset, makes our Treacherous Blessing super awkward. But, do I keep this? I need land. But I should probably just hang on to a threat. The deck is very proactive. You can play most of their cards in a proactive manner, even against control. Brilliant Drake. I guess you know what you hate. I respect it. I respect it. Eat those red mages. Illyrios. Some kind of a blink deck, possibly? Okay, now what? I think it's Oath of Kaya time. But what do we kill? I guess the Reflection does the most damage, but the Illyrios is the thing that Thassa will blink. So I'm going after the Illyrios so that a turn 4 Thassa doesn't get any value. Gotta be a Thassa deck, right? The only way this thing makes sense. They might be wondering about running Thassa out. If they actually commit it to the board, the Doom Foretold is pretty nasty for them. They'll have to give up the Drake, then they'll have Thassa for a turn, but then they have to defend Thassa for the rest of the game, basically. There's still a turn ahead of Elspeth Conquers Death on Thassa, so you think if you're going to play it, you better play it now. Because if you play it later, Elspeth will just exile it. If they don't play it here, what happens to them? Do I still play Doom Foretold, or do I play Archon? I don't know. No. The rope is really running. This is a critical cycle in the game. What they play and what I play are going to have a huge influence on how this plays out. I hope they didn't just AFK. They still have a timeout in the bank, but they are deep on this one. And it's a Fae of Wishes granted. I see. They were considering what to fetch. If I were them, I would fetch Heliod's Intervention. Maybe Planar Cleansing. Narset. That's a good one. I don't know if they can play Narset into an Archon though, so let's get something on the board. That Narset is really slow. You spent 4 mana to wish for it. You spend 3 mana to play it. Okay, and they go with Deputy, yep. Not enough to play the Narset here, but plenty of equipment here to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. We need to play the Blessing while we can. I guess we could play Doom Foretold, then play Elspeth Conquers Death, getting back Archon to sacrifice to Doom Foretold, but we still want to get rid of the Narset. How do we do it? Oh, I see. We play Doom, we give up Oath of Kaya, then we brought back the Oath of Kaya. That can kill the Narset. We do have to start working on these things. I guess it is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. We could also play Blessing now, let them have the board, but I think that that's giving up way too much. All right, Doom Foretold. Let's start whittling away at their toys. I'm sure the Drake is going to be the first one to take the pain. So if they play Narset and tick Narset down, we sacrifice Oath of Kaya. We brought back Oath of Kaya. We take out their Narset, and we cast Treacherous Blessing.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Ooh, they might bounce Oath of Kaya here, if they want to get rid of Doom Foretold for good.
Enough.
No, they picked Doom Foretold. I guess I can respect it. They were trying to hit a land, most certainly. Okay, their hand is doing it. They are staying aggressive. And we are drawing expensive cards and no lands. So now we have to make plays to stabilize the board. Alright, they found land number 6 before we did. That's brutal.
This might be a bad idea.
They have Dream Trawler. Very brutal. Alright. How do we fight through this? Feels like Doom Foretold has to get on the battlefield, right? We got to start whittling away at their toys. This brought back isn't going to do anything unless this Teferi somehow gets sacrificed here. But we can block with the Archon if the opponent attacks with the Trawler, because we get it back with Elspeth Conquers Death. Kept the Fibblethib. Still looking for Thassa, I guess.
No, I am not.
Well, Dream Trawler right now, if it attacks, can get double blocked. A real headache. Arming Prince of Fibblethib. Sure. This is getting interesting. Very, very interesting. Ooh, yeah, going in there. Very weird, because the Pegasus just comes back bigger unless you have something to do to this, so I hope you do. For your sake. Maybe they were trying to hit an untapped land and they have their own Elspeth Conquers Death. There's Thassa. Okay, still holding on to Narset. Have 3 permanents. Fibblethib's coming back, right? 4? How am I gonna get through all this? Interesting. Now they can exile this again. Right? They scry to the bottom. Very interesting. All right, Oath of Kaya to the graveyard. This is going to be epic. This is what we've been waiting to do. We get to do it in ranked, so that's fun. Oh yeah. Oath of Kaya, let's get that Teferi dead. Oh, they don't want to see where it goes from there? Actually, no, wait, this doesn't have summoning sickness? So one of my Pegasus tokens can attack the Teferi down to 1, so it's not a threat. So I should Oath of Kaya the Charming Prince. And then the rest of our turn would be Doom Foretold. Yeah, another Doom Foretold. And then they have to sacrifice 2 out of their 3 permanents here. They'll give up a Teferi. They'll probably keep the Thassa, but yeah, got him. All right, back to the chat after the game. I really like this deck, the almost tap out nature of it, using only instants for brought back and trying to manage exactly what you play each turn has been really fun. It reminds me of games like Shadowverse and Hearthstone, where you only have to think about the best sequencing on your turn to make your opponent's turn awkward. And I'm not saying those games or that style is better. God knows I like instants in Magic and I love counter spells. It's just nice for a change of pace and making you think about the game in a different way. And I like most things about this deck. I'm sure that many of you will suggest some cards in the comments, and maybe there's something I missed, but I like, maybe you want an Ugin or a Liliana, some heavy hitting planeswalker to bring back in the late game with Elspeth Conquers Death. Maybe you want Final Payment as another way to sacrifice Treacherous Blessing and be a 2-mana removal spell, instant speed interaction. That makes sense. But for the most part, I like this deck the way it is, and I do recommend playing it if you have the cards, and if you're not too many wild cards away from playing it. If you're already a Doom Foretold player, this build might bring you some joy. So we're going to call that a game, but yeah, brought back. I think that this is a really good home for the card. You can probably go jankier, but this is the right amount, in my opinion, of fun and potentially competitiveness that I look for in a build. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to say thanks for watching the video. We are in day number, I got a spreadsheet like any good nerd. This is my 414th consecutive YouTube video and my 12th consecutive day of quarantine. So like many of you, I'm staying at home and staying engaged and trying to put out more content. You can find a new video that I just released on the CGB Gaming channel, which the link should be right in the description, but sometimes that stuff doesn't get fixed correctly. But you can find it, CGB Gaming. CGB Gaming, I'm really the only one. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Goodbye.